Alright, this is Bleach episode 365. I'm really sweating right now. Just coming out of the rain. Just come from somewhere. Just review this episode in which I just watched. In my opinion, it was really good. We gotta know that you could change outcomes of society. Meanwhile, Ichigo's fighting Ginjo. Captains were there, like saying their job is done, and we came here to see what the choice Ichigo had made. Even though they had told him the truth, he had still, all the tug along Shinigami sides. So Rukio didn't have any doubt. She believed that they made Rukio straight to the end. So by her beliefs, she probably had full faith, and they believed after faith in which she had. So Ichigo is right there fighting Ginjo, and Ginjo's like he's so deep in the past, it's consuming him to the point where I think he's losing control. To the point even when Ichigo was trying to provoke him by speeding up so fast, in a way he might have lost his sense of instincts to war or even fight a battle. So I think that was his breakdown point in which he lost. I saw what really was awesome is when Ginjo got his scar right here, and I look at Ichigo. I thought it was his blood, but it was Ginjo's. So the fact that it's a point proving like, Ichigo could have taken him out even if he hadn't or had John for his Bankai. He would have still proven his strength even more. I'm not saying because he draws blood first make him the one who's the loser streak, but I'm saying because of his range, it's consuming to the point. Because when he was trying to convince Ichigo about how the society keeps monitoring him and all those stuff, controlling the move he makes and every person he fought, he wanted to use that for his greater good, to make Ichigo seem bad and to make society even look better. Utakake look bad even worse. So Ichigo said he knew all that. He just kept deep in his mind. He knew all of that. He didn't question the fact, but he just knew it. You know what I'm saying? And Ginjo does. He fell apart. He fell really apart because the point and the matter is, Ginjo is walking the path in which Ichigo is taking. He had walked that path at a substitute Shinigami. He had walked that path, and he probably think that Ichigo might have shared the same sorrow and sadness he had felt, or the grudge he had felt against society, all those stuff, but Ichigo just follow the path in which he take and the path in which he wanted, because if he hadn't gone through that, he said of himself he wouldn't have protected his family, his friends. He said the power that that was most likely monitored by and controlled by might have gave him a good purpose of having it in the end, just to protect his family. But I think Ginjo probably was really angry because as a full bring, they toss you aside for time being, and even when Byakuga was fighting full bring guy, he even said, I'm not even a benefactor of you. You mean like it was basically being a little exercise throughout the battle while Byakuga was fighting him. So by already being used as a full bring guy, it's even harder to be used by a substitute Shinigami. And Ginjo probably gone through that, and I really felt it for the guy. Even when he was down on the ground, you know, Ginjo saw it. Ichigo saw how much sorry he was going through, and how much he had been through, and he was probably one villain that I didn't see as a villain, no matter how rotten he came out as. You know what I'm saying? It's not that he needed change, but he needed the new. He might have been used, but power in which they grant you was, you know, was no luck. You know, he was probably granted based on you. You know what I'm saying? Ichigo was granted that power by luck, and you might presume to say, you know, if you grant that power by luck, he wouldn't, you know, have the same feeling which you're having, but just by granting that power by luck, you use it for a good reason, good purpose. And learn what he went through was really tough. You know, there even came a point when full-blown guy came, wanted to kill Ichigo, and Rukia, that girl came with Rukia's body, and she took the stab for him, and he was on a different page, you know, because Ginjo was grudgeful. He was really lost. He knew that Ginjo was the only person that he actually found as friend. He soon found out later that he wasn't even alone, you know. That kid as his apprentice is really joyful, because even to the point when he could have abandoned him based off, you know, what the person said in which you were fighting, you know, because he said he would risk his life for him, even if he wouldn't risk his life for me. And he knew that he had a lot of loyal companions, you know. May not be Ginjo, but that kid, you know, he might have changed after that experience anyway. But after the aftermath of everything, you know, got to see Jackie and that kid that can control, you know, games of some virtual reality world. They're still alive. Got to know that that guy who controls time is dead. The girl that risked her life for Ichigo is you know, is still alive and well. Harihime, you know, they came upon Harihime was crying a lot that she had to cry as well. Got to see the soft spot of her. You know, she said her goodbyes. You know, Fullbringers went to their separate side, start over a new beginning. You know, and then, you know, they heard news that Ichigo was on his way to society. Everyone was like, there, Ichigo, you know, they want to know what could have brought him here, you know. Like, at first they sort of thought he was going to, you know, bring back the compass to soul society where it belongs, but he wanted to show a lot of gratitude for Ginjo, you know, to bury him in the world, the real world. You know, so Isaac was demanding it like he was going to get it, but he said he wanted it for the main purpose, because he wanted to continue in the footsteps of being a Shinigami, you know, in which Ginjo was once in. And they really got that in common, you know. And first I'm seeing Ichigo showing that much respect for, you know, Ginjo. I'm not even calling him an enemy, but Ginjo prospectively. And really shocked me a little to see that change in which he have made in society, history in which he had changed a lot. And the fact that he had changed his history just proving that he might not have get that Shinigami power by luck, but he was destined to get that power, because who else would have changed soul society if it wasn't for Ichigo? We might never know. That's the thing about history when it's written. You gotta see what was bring forth to you than what would have been forth to you. So while going back to the world, it was really emotional for Rukia. She didn't really say goodbye, but Ichigo said, next time we meet. And to her looks, it always seemed like the last time. Every time he says that word, it's like the last time they're always going to meet. He says he's still alive, which means there's nothing gonna stop me from seeing you. And to me, I think he got that emotional love bond with Rukia more than Hime. That's just a fact and a matter in which I can't say for myself. I'm just to what I just saw between those two. It's like they're like a stronger bond than any superior. In Kendo the Real, and Chad, Ishida, his father, Yura and Orihime, his two sisters, his friends, they're waiting on him. That was a really good view of what was taking place, and it was a good episode. The fact that it's coming to an end now, or it is to an end, makes me think of if that's the way in which a lot of anime which I like is going to end, like Naruto and One Piece, because things gotta go to a bitter point when it has to end. And I hope a lot of anime ends that way. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to forget that character Ichigo. Bleach was always my third end pick for as an anime, but the ending which presented itself by was the least of what I actually watched of it. I like all the battles which is present itself by everything. But Kinjo Ichigo battle was the most. It was a battle to end the episode with. So I'm really glad that I found this anime in the first place to watch. Peace out.